Hi, everyone. So, resourcefulness, what is it? In the first year of human consciousness and energetics, it's resources we wish. We want to make sure we have enough money, enough food, enough of our identity. We want to bind things as a resource. And when we lack the resource, we freak out, we get ill. The real thing is not resources, resourcefulness. A friend of mine who was an immigrant into America, who came from a poor family in India, established a major business in America with a couple of $1 billion in funds that he was managing. And he told his children, when his children were young, I think around 10 years old or so, and very privileged children there, that just so he knows when they pass on, they're not leaving any money to them, not a cent. But during their life, he will give them the opportunities to have the greatest teachers, the greatest guides, greatest mentors in their life. From the coaches who coach professional tennis players, to equestrian riders, to language, to everything on every single level. He said because he felt less than as a child, because he felt like an outsider, because he didn't have much resources, this helped him in that hunger to develop a resourcefulness he would never have had if he had a full belly, was accepted, and felt part of everyone and part of society. And he said he's known enough people who have trust fund kids, etc., who don't value anything and waste their life away. This next year, human consciousness is our resourcefulness that's really appreciated most, and our ability to add light and energy to others so they can be more resourceful. This next year, the coherent energy you share in the space, the field between us, is what gets the energy going. It gets the engines moving. It builds momentum between you and the field of consciousness around us and the fields of manifestation. Now, either resourcefulness comes from having more energy available, unbound energy available, and through holding multiple perspectives at once, so I'll get to this soon, and experiencing the connection to the fabric of humanity. Or resourcefulness comes from massive loss and starting the process of stage one and moving further on. I choose resourcefulness because we choose it, not because the path that is chosen for us at a time that is not only inconvenient, really painful. Consciousness, or advancing in consciousness, is always associated with holding multiple perspectives. And this is very important because each of the 12 stages is another perspective. Each additional stage requires more energy and gives more energy. And we connect to the rhythm of that stage, we connect to all of humanity, which automatically adds more resourcefulness. Resourcefulness is never by yourself. It's always in relationship to others. Always. So, when we're messed up in life, we believe life equals our circumstance. Oh my God, I'm locked in the house. I can't do this. I can't do this. We focus on what resource we don't have. That increases the hunger in the world, not the good hunger. There's a hunger we want, a hunger for more, a hunger to be more, not a hunger based on what we don't have. Either we focus on what's lost and what we don't have, or what's missing, or we focus on the more that's available. They take our physiology, our life, our attention, our interaction with others into different directions. So if you think, oh, how you doing, Donnie? How do you expect me doing? I'm stuck in the house again. Or how do you expect me doing? we can't work now and can't make the money. I'm not sure what's going to happen with this or that. Well, how do you expect I'm doing? Hey, I'm sheltering in place with my ex. That's where we got stuck. And now I got my ex's dog there too. So, well, I'm stuck with my ex's attorney. That's where sheltering in place. When someone asks how you're doing and you mention the circumstance, it means that your energy level is low and you're stuck in, or you need to do stage 1 or stage 2. That's it. Beyond that, it's no longer a circumstance because of enough energy to fuel you who's thinking in your focused attention. And as we extend further stages, we have further connection. In wanting to avoid being a nobody and avoiding that pain of a nobody, we go to be a somebody. It's not about being a nobody, it's feeling like you're nobody connected to no one. That's where the pain is. It's the degree of threads of your energy to other people's souls that actually increase the energy and our resourcefulness in the field. So when you hold one perspective and one is right and the other is wrong, that's what happens now with the people who over and over and over talking all the conspiracy theories. And what's the conversation about? Who's screwing up what external foe outside is looking to mess up your life? That's low stage 2. And what happens is your physiology gets distressed. You have more inflammation when you do that. But once you say there's more than one perspective, well, does the mask protect? The mask not protect? Well, social distancing is what they're talking about. No, I want to have physical distance and social connection. Uh, well, does it really help? Is it really about a virus? What is it about? It's the Gates Foundation. It's the 5G network. They all may contribute, but when you say this causes and this is that, you're in stage 2 polarity. In stage 2 polarity, there's inflammation, there's pain, and this massive sympathetic fight or flight pattern, which absolutely derails the parasympathetic nervous system, which regulates through the spine your immune system. Are you looking to move away from a virus or away from pain, or are you looking to greater immunity, greater connection? Connection with others adds to our immunity. The experience of feeling separate from increases mortality from all causes. And right now in America, for example, I hear that the numbers of deaths in America is approximating the number of deaths this flu season from the flu. Maybe there's one or more perspective. So if you hold your hand on wherever it is in the body, and I'll show you I can show you here, and I focus on the breath there, that's one perspective. I focus on the breath and movement at the same time, I have 2 perspectives. Breath, movement, to feel the energy, I have 3 perspectives. I focus on not moving the rest of my body and only moving this, it's 4 perspectives. I focus on sometimes I feel it seems so disconnected, 5, sometimes so helpless, 6. Something like that again, 7. Once you get to 2 perspectives, you start having the higher brain start functioning more. You start to do that, the stress hormones have to turn off. So by holding more than one perspective, by even doing stage 2 and getting the rhythms to connect, by doing any of the stages, stage 4 and beyond, instantly it is helping you be aware of several different perspectives, but not about the story, not about the circumstance. Perspectives about the energy that organizes your body and your life and how you connect with others. When you're in that conversation, all the stressful things in life, they all start disappearing. You see, instead of saying the story of, well, I'm losing money, am I going to get money from the government or not? Instead of thinking, well, I'm afraid of the virus, I have a cough now, and maybe I'm going to die, or maybe develop immunity. Instead of doing that, when you focus on breath, energy, movement, there is no story. Because to have a story, you must have one perspective at a time. And the purpose of every story is to bind energy to keep you where you are. Now, this is the perfect time to really practice stage 1. and connect in that to your physiology. It is said that all of our serious or significant diseases, our addictions, our chronic inflammatory conditions, all cancer is associated with the inability to perceive, process, or verbalize a body sense or emotion. You see, if you got the cues from the body can respond instantly, can micro-regulate and create a change, but we have to think about it. And instead of, for example, instead of saying, I feel so much anger right now, instead my head hurts, or I start coughing. You somaticize, you bring it to the body. What if you could take it back to primal energy that's an information that's meant to be expressed about ourselves and our environment? What the immune system is about is not about bacteria or virus, it's not that. The immune system job is to help you adapt your body and your physiology to a changing field and things in the field between us that require attention. To have effective functioning of that, we have to have an effective stage 1 and stage 2. Stage 1 helps you regulate the unconscious patterns, instinctive behavior, and enough metabolic energy, including oxygen energy, to do that. And developing breath responses that increase your ribs expansion, the diaphragm expansion. Remember, many, many people die who have cardiac challenges, respiratory challenges, emphysema, asthma, pneumonia, and they have okay blood saturation of oxygen. But the spine isn't moving, the ribs aren't moving, so their brain thinks they're not being oxygenated. And it acts out the way it believes it is. If you sit for basketball and you go to shoot hoops, and you go like this and you practice an hour a day, like that, you'll have generally about the same improvement as the person actually shooting hoops. We are what we practice. What stages do you practice mostly? And do you really get into those stages, do you? Stage 1, you must experience, not a concept, experience. It feels like I'm helpless. I'm like gonna die. I don't have energy. I don't have breath. I know. I feel so powerless, disconnected. Feel and be with it. It lasts 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. And then you actually get the statement that represents the exact physiological response. And suddenly now, your breath pattern increases. The instinctive biochemistry starts shifting. Different pheromones starts happening. Your body can micro-regulate. I have found, for example, with people who are cancering, the number one thing I found people cancering, so many people over the years, here's why I said, are you more frightened? What's more frightening to you? Being seen as angry, nasty, vindictive, visceral bastard, or dying. Everyone's, I'm not afraid of dying. Oh, no, I won't be seen that way. Because that means they're a failure. That means they're not enough. That means they have the experience of suffering, so they'd rather die than that. So the immune system will go to the super awakened state. They want to go stage 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, be in those high states and tell how wonderful it feels as a means of avoiding the foundation. You don't start building a house with a roof. Every table needs legs under it to have stability. So what happens, these people, they avoid the feeling they have in stage 1 and 2, that charge, they avoid that. So therefore they go to awaken where we're all one. Everything's perfect. The immune system won't say, screw you, I'm gonna kill you cells. If you're on the wrong road, unless you admit you're wrong on the road and feel what it feels like to be wrong, you will never make a change. No matter what someone says, you have to have the experience that I am wrong now. I am not enough. I made a mistake. I'm stupid. You must have that experience before you shoot to another level. And you don't have to be beaten up and lose everything now and almost die before you choose to live. The 12 stages is the most extraordinary opportunity for this. Jeannie got exactly experience the experience. Experience sense and Some of the great NBA players have practiced shooting free throws in their imaginations, and yes, correct, they improve later on the court. So what are you practicing? What conversation you have that tells you what stages you're in, and what stages are you in all the time habitually, and which must you be in? Darius, feel what it feels like to be wrong. Every table needs legs. So this is the way it goes. The stage is a rhythm of consciousness. If you want to help all those in suffering, then be with suffering, real suffering, not the experience of why is this happening, this shouldn't be happening, this. That's the surface, that's not suffering. This is because my mother did this. This is because I was abandoned. This is because I lost my money. No, that is not suffering. That's the surface of suffering. It seems like it lasts forever. The true suffering from the experience of the consciousness that's coherent is, it seems like nothing works. Experiencing it. It seems like so helpless. It seems like it's never going to end. You say to someone, help me. The person comes back 3 seconds later. What took you so long? You're stuck between the second-handed time and a surrealistic state. When you're with it, acknowledge it, be aware of it, acknowledge it, accept it as an energy, and liberate with, I couldn't breathe, now I have breath there. I couldn't feel the energy, now I have the energy. I couldn't move, now the ribs move. Once you acknowledge that, boom, what may take months or years and a depleted immune system, this requires a downsizing in life when we can't do suffering, because life will reduce our opportunities because we don't have enough energy and we can't listen to instinct. So we worry instead of have real fear. We must experience fear. Don't go there, not worry. Fear is, you're afraid your life is in jeopardy. Worry stops the ability to fear and stops you from actually experiencing stage 1 of suffering. Then you go to stage 2. And how do you know stage 2? Well, something's right and something's wrong, something's good, something's bad. This one's evil, that one's this. Listen to your statements. This is the best, this is the worst. You're going to save me. A vaccine will save me. Well, look at the research, what they showed. So far, what they've seen is how many of the monkeys, people have died. And what is the vaccine for? I'm not saying it's right or wrong. You're looking for something to save you from the experience of suffering. You're not asking someone to improve your immune system. You're not asking to improve your relationships. The ceiling for you is just moving away from what doesn't feel like. That rhythm you can't connect to. Anyone who reminds you of that rhythm, you hate, you don't like, you can't experience well. Eventually, you're going to have to be with it. It's like the white racist supremacist who does a DNA test to find out he's 40% sub-Saharan Africa. Or the other anti-Semitic supremacist who found out that his grandparents were killed in the concentration campers raised by Christian family. Get this. You must meet your polarity. Or the person who says, I will never, ever go and take drugs in the hospital. And they're almost dead. And at that point, the drugs save their life, because in stage 2, something else saves your life. And eventually, whatever you so sure saved your life, or was the enemy, you find it's not all that bad. It wasn't that. It was never that. So in your conversation, you're blaming something as the cause. I look at something as a magical solution. Why? As if to move away from that stage 2 polarity. Recognize it. There's inflammation in the body. And with that, you can't have the effective immune system. That has to change. Stage 3, stuck. Are you stuck in your house? Or are you given a time off right now? Look what's happening. People are connecting with people past their boundaries. They're saying what's really important. They're finally having healthier meals. People are sitting at a table with their families and devices are off, actually having conversations. Oceans are getting cleaner. Sometimes we need a time out or a time in. Stage 3, stuck. You get to apologize to that child that you alienated because you had to grow up too fast, or because you're wounded, or you don't like their naivety or the purity. And when that happens, this person who had to fit into the culture in a certain way is more playful. Tell me, have you ever heard somebody dying because they're having too much playful energy? Have you ever heard somebody on their deathbed say, oh my God, I wish it was more serious? When you express the stage to emotional energy happens and you engage others in pulling the energy together. During this time, watch more comedies. Look at the romantic comedies. You know that God put, we are God's comedy channel. Because what do you see there? You see, if these two people, I can't believe their relationship together. Oh my God. If they don't kill each other, it'll be epic. You know that feeling. Stage 3, the stuck. It's time to finally recognize that you're the one who's stuck. It's not your circumstance. And you, oh no, I don't want to feel the frustration or anger. It's not nice to be angry. It's not angry. I can't say fuck, I'll say poo-poo. I can't do that. And without feeling that, the energy doesn't build up for you to claim something more. You've been playing too small. This time in life, we all have been playing too small. Our culture is playing too small. Our species are playing too small. And we no longer have other beings as part of our circle of us. How do you get more resourceful? Make the system you're in bigger. Make this, how big is your system? Is it just your company? Is it just your business? Is it just your family? Is it just your husband and wife? Is it just your hobby or vocation? Is it just your money? Or is it a bigger circle? How many people now depend upon you, and life will be different if you didn't show up for them? Increase that circle. Make it unreasonable. To do that, you have to first start going to stage 5. And stage 5, you're merging past illusions of you, of what a father is, what a mother is, what a business owner is, what an American is, Republican, Democrat. Beyond that, you're merging past that and realize you're playing too small because you believe your role is too small. Stop. In stage 4, you wanted your independence. As you get to a bigger level, you realize to achieve what has to happen, you are interdependent. All experiences are shared experiences. The more energy is between you, the greater the synergy and the greater the response. Have you been in a time where, say you eat gluten-free and dairy-free and meat-free and taste-free, and you limit food, and you have to do that or you get really bit sick. Oh, I'm like this because I ate some gluten. I'm because I did this. I'm because, and your life is so restricted. You have to work out. You have to eat every some hours. I'm not making it wrong. Metabolic energy is the lowest form of energy. Have you ever been working on a project, come with a great idea, a new vision for business, a new vision for a relationship, a new way of helping other people? You're up all night planning it and you didn't eat and it was okay. All of a sudden, you're with your husband, your wife, a lover, and you're up all night and you stay away from refined carbs. And guess what? That chocolate syrup on the person was great. You stay away from dairy. And why? I ate whipped cream and that was amazing on your body. And you stayed up all night. Why? Because there was a higher source of energy in the space between you. And that's what happens as you start moving higher up in the stages. Please make the circle of what you participate with bigger. The bigger you make it, the more energy flows in and the more you spontaneously move to the higher stages. But only if you're rooted first in the lower stages and you really experience that for yourself and for others. One of the things so many people do, and I notice, is we want to go to the higher stage because they think there's no conflict. Wow, I feel the energy, it's so wonderful. I'm so enlightened, I don't have a shadow. Stage 2. I want to be with the right, like-minded people who believe the same way, who love the same way, whatever. Stage 2. And you'll still find polarity occurs there. How big is your system, Samson says. Alice said, we have tacos and burritos and just ran out of tacos. Carol Ford, love you. Kelly Gregg said, thank you, Donna. Crystal George, make the circle participate the biggest, because then all of a sudden, the things that affect you don't affect you. Your immune system is better because you are giving function this way, so much energy has to flow through you. And when it flows through you, you have more bandwidth. And other stages are easier to sustain. And in the higher stages, you feel the pain of others. You see the bad in the world. You judge, you see it. And you know it's there. And you bring light to it. You see the quote bad in the world. And you realize that's why you have to share more, be more, and give more. And perhaps you're going to start mixing to a stage 2 polarity. And right after that, you may jump up and say, let me feel stage 8, the openness, emptiness. And then go back to it. And go back to a higher stage, a lower stage. Start dancing together with them. And watch what happens. Resourcefulness doesn't have to happen by everything taken away from you. Resourceful happens by the fact that life is resourceful. We have to be standing in the way of ourselves not to be resourceful. Someone said, I can't do this program. It's $10,000. I know it's going to make a difference in my life. I don't have the resources. If a family member was about to die, if it made a difference saving a limb for someone, in a week's time, would you find a way to come up with money? So the point is, you haven't valued it enough. We value that which we experience with us more energy. Some of us live outside of ourselves, and that's what energy is. And when they experience something outside, they value it, and it's energy, and it's great. And for those people, when it comes closer into the body, they have pain. And other people, instead, when they go so far out, it's painful. Inside, it feels more energized. Start being aware of when you're most joyous, when you're most painful, and realize it's not because of circumstance, because of amount of energy, and suddenly you got more resourceful. Instead of asking, why is this happening? Why is this not happening? Instead say, how do I optimize things? That starts happening as you move from stage 5 to stage 6. How do I optimize the time I'm together? I have a conversation with someone. Have you decided before what you want the outcome to be? In stage 6, stage 5, you merge past the bullshit story about you are and someone else's with a husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, child. You merge past that and it gets bigger. And you start seeing the person more. And then you go, oh my God, I have to be bigger. I have to be more. I have to be better. I have to optimize to bring my very best to this. Are you bringing your very best? Your very best means in relationship with others. There's enough momentum that a synergy happens and magic starts happening. You're not looking at what's wrong in the world or what's missing. You're looking at this is a time for us to prepare. Resourcefulness comes from preparing for something bigger, for more of us. That's where it comes from, not just circumstance. Bringing the energy to the circumstance to find out that was just an opportunity to first get started. How do I optimize things? How? You first have to ask it. How many times a day do you do that? What if it's already optimized, but you're just in a lower stage, you can't see it? What if it's already optimized, the gift is there right in front of you, but you're running away from pain? You won't see it. What if there's a check, $1 million or $10 million check, written in your name, but the spiritual bank teller can't give it because you're busy writing a who's right and who's wrong, or what conspiracy is happening to me? And I can promise you, if people who see conspiracy theories also have had in their life people outside of themselves mess up their life that they feel is to blame for it. Someone did something to them was painful. And now that's applied to other things in the world. We all must be cracked open. And hopefully we're all being cracked open now to light and to love and to all the 12 stages, the ones you like and the ones you don't like. And the ones you don't like somehow become your best friend because you realize that's what's keeping you from where you must be. Manuela, New Humanity, Fischerstein, optimize. Darius, what if it's already optimized you and you're just in the lowest stage, you can't see it? Carol Ford, I'm so ready. Lewis, what if the sun is there and you can't see it because you're focused on the shadow? You're focused on the shadow because that's what you're bringing to the world, shadow. I don't know. How you've changed since I've changed. We don't see the world as it is, we see it as we are. Then we get to stage 7. The world is doing a stage 7 now. Has in simple terms, a big dump. We have resolution with all the energy we accepted as us unconsciously. It's because of us. And because of that, now it's how to be discharged. And either be discharged with a stage 1, stage 2 combination with polarity or suffering, or it's going to be discharged differently, or discharged with stage 8 and emptiness. Your choice. Economic, political, social systems want stage 7. It wants to resolve the energy that we thought was real as important. Where have we bound energy? Our political, economic, our social systems. What about the animals we eat for food? The animal Auschwitz all over the place. How they're tortured. Oh no, but we call it beef. We don't call it cow. We call it veal. It's packaged. Take a look at how these animals are treated. And you don't think that affects human immune systems and the consciousness? How many slaves and slave labor, how many children are being sold into slavery? When you're awakened, you don't say, oh, it's so wonderful, it's so beautiful, everything's beautiful, awaken you. Go into a family who just had a kid stolen. Or family whose kids' organs were just harvested and sold for someone else. Someone who's just hit by someone in a gang member and tell them how sweet and wonderful the world is. And all being cracked open to light. What are you focused upon? That's what resourcefulness is about. So true, and you also see the answers already. Ali, eat light, eat plants. I can't stress enough. It's insane to believe that we could destroy our rainforest, our oceans, imprison so many beings, torture them for our desire, and think we could be well. It is freaking insane, and that has to end. We're all one. Everything in creation is there for a reason, and it's not for us to take them for our use. Even when someone eats an animal, that animal is respected, treated properly. It's slaughtered. If it is killed for food, it's killed for food, and all the parts are used and honored. Not thrown away for your gluttony. That has to result in destruction. And not only us, how many other plant organisms we've taken with us. This is what the crisis is about, the way we value the life, what we do in life, and we're so busy and we bind so much energy in the world because we want to own things. So we believe we own the animals, we own the plants, we own the rainforest for a few more cents in corporate profit. This is what has to end. Binding energy for yourself at the expense of others is toxic. And I can promise you, in some way, there'll be viruses that express that consciousness. The largest system is going to want to take us down. I'm speaking right now, awaken, transform, awaken, discover. Awaken with the stage 6, prepare. And then acknowledging the polarity at the same time. Acknowledge it all, it's all real. But which do you choose in this moment? Resourcefulness is your choice. I choose more. And for whom? That's what it's about. Look outside and watch an insect. Watch it. Watch it crawl. Watch how it's guided. Watch how a spider spins its web. That's the same energy, organizing wisdom, that our cells are brought together, instinctive behavior there. People, you know what? Maybe we all should stay in our house and stop talking to people with what we bring to one another. It's like go to your room until you have something worthwhile to say and be respectful to the family. We're getting a timeout because we need to be more respectful. And when we come back, don't expect the same world. Let's go back to live. Let's go back now so we go back to work and have the same thing, the same type of life. That's like the same model of treating a disease, to go back to your prior minimal state. A question for you. If you were popped into the world at the time of Christ, time of Jesus, the time of Moses, time of Muhammad, If you were tapped into those times, and you were tapped in, time of Buddha, different Buddhas, and they said, after thousands of years, show us what humanity has shown us, how we could live more together, how we could have reached Kyochi Myogo for Buddhism, where my internal subjective wisdom matches the external reality. Show me how we have shown peace and love, how we turn the other cheek. Show me how we share bread together and invite poor people to come for us for dinner. On Sabbath, you invite the people you don't even like who need help. In the Old Testament, every 6 years or 7 years or 6, you would free the people who were slaves and give them their own land to work on. You would take a looking path and you would rotate the crops to be respectful for that. You would give thanks or pray or look at the animal in the eye and about to take it and give thanks for it. It said in the Old Testament, you should eat the nuts and fruited trees as if they were your meat, and only when you have to do other things, not for gluttony. We're in a world of gluttony because we have valued the bound energy more than anything else, as our wealth, as our identity, as our disease, as everything. We believe in ownership. We own anything. The funeral card doesn't have a funeral rack on top. This is what's going on. And resourcefulness is not looking at the substance you have, but how you could share with others and make a difference in your life. How big is your system? How many people do you focus on helping? Tikkun olam in Hebrew. One of the recipes for me in living life is first be a mensch, a good person does the right thing for the right reason, just because it's right. And it feels so good to do the right thing. Stopping your role of who you're supposed to be and just showing up. Tikkun olam. Help repair the world for someone. Whose world today you're going to repair? You want to see resourcefulness? You focus on whose world you can help repair today. Not fix, repair. So they have a better world, a worldview, a way of being, the way they connect, different energies. And guess what? Your world starts shifting. Now, chutzpah, nerve. Have enough nerve to say what has to be said when it's politically incorrect, not to hurt somebody, but to say, hey, listen, there's more. This is kind of bullshit. You are so much more. We are so much more. And then gratitude for being born. Gratitude for even having the opportunity to have pain as a guide that something has to shift. We're a drop of water in the earth. Stage 7, let's catch up and save 7. All the energies that we've had attached to us, so to speak, or we're stuck with, or all those things associated with those things we have not valued in life, and we've used them without value. A friend of mine was a poor kid. He left the UK, and he was in trouble as a kid. He met a girl with $25 £25 silver in his pocket. And he didn't have money. His father was a gambler. He wanted a certainty. But growing up, you know what he did? Every dollar bill he put together, took an iron and he ironed so smooth. Every day, morning and night, he knew exactly how many dollars he had and what he did. And he was going to use it very sparingly, recognizing that. He became very wealthy and successful in business through losses and there, all the different stages there. And one day, he had his father come over to his house. And they never had much. His father came to his house. He said, close the curtains. And he took out $1 million cash and spread it out on the tables. And he counted, Father, you did crime. He said, no, I earned it. Why? Because he valued it. Other parts of his life fell apart. But that's what he valued. He experienced that with energy. He gave a meaning to it. That it means following him enough. Once we recognize we're none of us are enough, but together we are, this is what happens as we start getting to stage 9. We experience the energy of everything. Stage 8, we feel a rhythm. How do you feel resourceful? You're guided. There's a rhythm guiding you. Go where the energy is. Stop trying to fix that which doesn't work. When you try to fix that which is not working, you're the one who's not working. So using the same you to fix it. Why? So you feel better about yourself. So I'm going to develop more personal development courses. That's important. You do that, but don't live there. You got to realize no matter what you achieve, you're not going to feel like you're enough, because it'll help you achieve and develop bandwidth, shelf space in the world. So when you have bigger gifts to give, you have a way of distributing it to the world. Freya, none of us are alone, but together we are. We're all guided. The rhythm is guiding us. Together we're enough. But when you feel like we're enough, that's okay. That's what makes us look for more. When you feel like you're not enough, it's not a gift. It's God's greatest gift. It's called humility. That's what makes the sustainability of the higher stages more, and helps you in those higher stages be with someone in the lower stages, and just to hold their hand and say, sometimes it seems like it never works. Per se, no, it doesn't. It's never going to end. No, it's not going to end. In a couple of moments, they'll say, I think there is an answer here. That's enough to make a difference. Or tell a joke that brings two polarities together. It makes a big difference. Then when we get to stage 10, talk about resourcefulness. Now you're given the gifts of the whole universe and feel it. And now you see how small you are and how big the world is. In stage 11, it's bringing the gifts to others. There's so many people are doing that, taking care of people, bringing gifts to them, calling people, helping them in stage 11. When you're there, you have a different observer. Stage 12 is the community. That's what we are now. We're diverse from all around the world, all different perspectives, all different circumstances. And you know what? It's important that people who think they've arrived start taking wisdom from those who you think don't. I recently spoke to someone, and this kid's mother, this kid about herself, just herself, totally self-absorbed. She never stood up that much as a mother for the kids. But you know what? She knew how to play and have a good time. So I talked to the person and said, I wish I was more like your mother. They said, what do you mean? She learned how to chill out and have a good time. That's a strategy I admire. And you know what? When people admire a gift someone has that you don't have, that person's lit up, and so is you. They may give it too much or too little, doesn't matter. It's a gift. So rather than say, look, they're always playing, that's all they care about. Pause. What if you could be a little more like that? That's it. Resourcefulness is what we are. It means more energy and more bandwidth, more connection to more people, and a bigger vision. The 12 stages are 12 stages of consciousness, being everything you achieve in life, every contract you make, every deal, every relationship. The deal is sealed by the stage you enter into, because that's what's going to happen. So my suggestion, people, get to know all of them, experience all of them, physiologically for somato-respiratory integration, and as you learn also in the field, because everything happens there to condition a larger group of people to know that this is part of the stages of humanity. Reversals of what we are. Juliet, community, we're all diverse all around the world. Those who think they arrived to receive the wisdom from those who think they have not arrived. Please bring these words to Brazil, thank you, to the whole world. When you think of Brazil, do you think of Brazil in a place where there's lots of energy or not? Whomever or whatever you think about them when you're in least stage 5. And they'll be different then. And if you feel polarity with them, allow them to share the gifts with them and receive the gifts of that person. If you have more energy available close to you, hold the person close to you. When energy further away, be with them out there. We don't see the world as is, we see it as we are. We have 12 ways of seeing the world. Use them all. Don't take yourself so seriously, it never worked. And remember, we are one. Thank you for being part of this community. Thank you for in these crazy times of all the things you'd be doing, precautions you'd be taking, things you'd be looking at. They're just sharing time with me and with one another through all the 12 stages of healing. Community, receiving the gift of one another as it is. At the end of the Broadway show, everyone stands up, and like that, and the villain and hero stand together. You look at them and watch this, and we all applaud. We all applaud community. It's not something to develop. Today, choose, please, to communicate and to connect, to experience, to share, and light up a bigger part of the community. Participate in it, of friends, of family, of all sentient beings, and a community of hope for humanity. Thank you, and God bless.